Happy Sunday, everybody. Hey, the late, great Christopher Hitchens once warned against taking security in the false refuge of consensus. It's a great admonition. And that's what's taking place right now on the right. I'm seeing kind of a shift. There was this push right after the election, after Donald Trump's win, that conservatives were getting online and crying their crocodile tears that family was cutting them off for voting to welcome wagon fascism into the United States, allowing Donald Trump, the bigot, the racist, the white supremacist, another bite at the apple of power. The other thing that's happening is more related to the Christopher Hitchens quote, which is these people who are taking security in the false refuge of consensus. Except it's not really consensus, because Donald Trump didn't even get 50% of the popular vote, we're now learning. It's really not a mandate from the people. It was, again, more chicanery from our broken, anti-democratic electoral college system. But I want to introduce you to somebody, a conservative influencer of sorts. I've got two videos from her TikTok that really scream refuge in consensus here. Meet, I don't know if her name is Irene, Wexler. I'm going to read from her website, and then we're going to get to these two very funny TikToks. It really does show that you can be the biggest dipshit on the planet and find success in conservative media. I'm going to read a couple paragraphs from her bio, or her self-written biography on her website. I don't fit the standard mold, she says. I grew up as one of the few conservatives on the outskirts of the very blue New York City, with 2 degrees from Wharton, Penn, and a career that started on the trading floor at Goldman Sachs. On the trading floor? Goldman Sachs has a trading floor? Do you mean the New York Stock Exchange? And took me to the startups of Silicon Valley. The left doesn't know what to do with me. The left doesn't know what to do with me. I'm such an innovator. Avantguard Trailblazer is Arene Wexler. Last paragraph, and then we'll get to the videos. I'm not here to echo the same old narrative. I'm all about smashing the status quo and redefining what conservative commentary can be. Get ready for it. This is remarkably innovative commentary from Irene. My non-lib takes are about challenging norms, sparking conversations, and injecting some fresh thinking into the mix. Stick around, she warns, or admonishes you. I've got a lot more to share. Here is that not fitting the standard mold, not here to echo the same old narratives. Kind of akin to the women and the men who are crying about their families no longer wanting to be in contact with them. Here she is explaining that now conservatives own comedy.
Has anyone else noticed this amazing phenomenon happening right now, which is that we, on the right, the conservatives, we're the funny ones now. We're the memers. We were not the funny ones when I was growing up. The left had an absolute chokehold on late night. Now, we have the funny Instagram pages. I mean, I'm biased. Their satire websites, so unfunny. We've totally taken that over. And now we're even taking over movies. Like Matt Walsh's new documentary on DEI, Am I Racist? It is literally the #1 documentary of the decade. And it was the funniest thing that I have seen in theaters since I don't even know when. I was howling in the theater. And it's the kind of movie you just can't even begin to explain to someone. You just have to experience it. You just have to see it. And so now that it's finally streaming on Daily Wire Plus, I'm going to force all my friends who didn't come with me to the theater, they're going to watch it with me at home. It is impossible not to laugh at this movie. And that's what makes it so masterful. It didn't feel like a conservative documentary. It felt like a comedy. So if you haven't already seen it, trust me, just trust, and go stream it on Daily Wire Plus.
Has anybody ever noticed that conservatives are the funny ones now with the zoom in camera? Oh, has anybody ever noticed this? Oh, this is ridiculous. The documentary of Matt Matt Walsh was so funny. It was so funny. The racist, bigoted documentary was hilarious, says Irene Wexler. If this isn't one just screaming to please employ me at Daily Wire, I don't know what is. But it does go to show it does not take much to be a conservative influencer, I guess. Here's the one that actually got my attention first that I want to play for you, and it's her walking down the street explaining that conservatives, she's really spilling the beans for conservatives, revealing to the world what their secret code is. They have a code that they've been using that exists right in plain sight that we liberals and Democrats, we had no idea. We had no idea what the secret code was, but now, thankfully, because of Arene Wexler, we have an idea of what it is. Brace yourselves. This was a very impossible code to crack.
So I don't know if liberals realize that Republicans are constantly speaking to each other in code out in public. Leave little clues for each other that only we will pick up on so we can identify each other out in the wild. I call this the quiet code. I mean, there is a whole conservative world happening around liberals that they just actually don't pick up on. It's kind of like the Muggles in Harry Potter when they just don't notice all the magic happening around them. Like when they see people walking through brick walls and train stations. What are some examples of this quiet code? First and foremost, if a guy has moderate as his political views in a dating app, then ladies, he is a keeper because he is most likely a Republican. There are other subtle indications that you are politically simpatico. If a guy drives any kind of pickup truck, or if his love language is sending tweets, especially if his username is something like user12437, that is legacy from the pre-Elon days when we were all afraid to like anything or risk getting locked out of our accounts. If they're ever wearing anything from Orvis or Bass Pro Shop, if they have the All In Pod or Joe Rogan as recently played in their Spotify, if they watched Yellowstone or are into grilling, if they have a sudden newfound favor of Bill Maher, like in the last 2 years, if they stop at Buc-ee's on road trips, if they have books or ever reference Jordan Peterson or David Goggins, and if they have any kind of American flag on their clothes or on their car. But that one's just a dead giveaway.
Are you kidding me? The American flag on your profile picture, that was the code? That was the impossible to break code? Liking Joe Rogan was the code? Watching Yellowstone and grilling, that's the... I like to grill. I'm not a conservative. Have I broken into the code? Have I hacked the system? Have I broken through to the Matrix? Have I been red-pilled because I like to grill? Bass Pro Shop. Tweeting is the code. Driving a pickup truck is the code. I hate to break it to you, non-libs take or Arene or whatever your name is, that's not a code. That's not a secret. That is most assuredly not quiet, especially when... Let me explain something as a former United States Marine. Oh wait, is that also part of the code? Am I a conservative because I was in the Marine Corps? Let me explain something to you called OPSEC, Operational Security. This would be breaking or violating OPSEC. If you have a code, a quiet code, a secret code, you don't reveal it to the enemy, to the opponent. But you wouldn't know that because, have you ever noticed that we're the funny ones now? Oh, it's crazy how funny we are. This is taking security in the false refuge of consensus. Although they don't, again, really have consensus. But they feel like they do. They feel like they've broken through and the world is on their side. That there will be no resistance. Idiots. Dipshits. Filling the stadium that is the United States to the rafters. Up to the nosebleeds are the dipshits. Anyway, I'd love to know what you think. You can call, leave me a voicemail, 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me as always, daily@dollemore.com. I welcome your comments in the comment section here on YouTube. We can keep it agreeable, even if we disagree, I think. Or not, you know, it's YouTube. What are you going to do? If you like this video, please subscribe. We are, it is an uphill battle, as you can see. If you'd like to support this work, help produce these videos, click the join button below. For $2 a month, you can do just that. You can also go to my Patreon, patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast. I love and appreciate you very much. Follow me on Blue Sky and Threads and TikTok, where you can also apparently follow the non-lib takes or whatever her name is. I'm at Dollemore everywhere. I will see you next time. Be genuine and take care of one another.